Shalom, 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 shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone of Teaching Ruel. Peace and salutation to the whole flex scattered abroad that's out here doing this work in truth and sincerity. I'm Brother Bob coming at you with another lesson, man. Lord willing, this less edifying. I want to title this lesson, Don't Sacrifice Everything and Then Give Up. Don't sacrifice everything and then give up. Because when you come into this truth, you leave your old life behind. You leave your old life behind. You sacrifice trying to reach some of the goals that you set for yourself in life, to come into this truth, man. To follow Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But you got people out here, men that sacrificed everything and they gave up and they went back to it. They gave up and went back to it, man. They let go of this life to go back Salakia, to go back to death. I'm gonna grab 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21. It says, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness Salakia. It says, Salakia, I think the phone messed up, Salakia. It says, bringing it back, this is 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21. It says, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. Right, man? It would have been better if they hadn't even known it. But they took the truth for granted, man. They never really wanted it. They start seeing how much fun their friends or their family were having back in the world, and chose to go back to it, man. It says, verse 22, it says, but it is happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. It's like a dog returning to its own vomit, man. Going back to the bullshit again. And that's what these people do, man. They sacrificed everything first coming in, or did they really sacrifice it then? Because they didn't, right? They still held on to some stuff, man. So by them being lukewarm, the Lord spewed them out of his mouth, man. You either gonna be hot or you gonna be cold, man. Don't be lukewarm. I'm gonna go to the book of I'm going to go to the book of Luke. Luke chapter 9. This is Luke chapter 9 and verse 62. It says, "And Yahushua said unto him, No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua," man. You know, this is a race to the end. You can't go faster looking back, man. You know, you gonna trip and fall. You gotta focus on what's ahead. You gotta focus on winning winning that race, man. Plowing that field, you know. If you looking back, you're gonna mess up on what you're doing. You're not gonna have full focus on what you're doing, man. Because your head is somewhere else, trying to please these people in the world. To hell with these people, man. This place is gonna be utterly destroyed anyway. You know? And you're gonna be destroyed with it. If you looking back, you know? I was talking to this person yesterday, man. That was like, you don't have the same drive that you used to. You know, you don't want this and want this like you used to. You know? And that made me think, like, that's when I was in the world, man. You know? Trying to chase after my goals. Trying to chase after worldly things or things that don't matter. Now, you know, I'm good with being content with what I have. You know, it's not about who has the most money, who has the most cars, who has the best clothes. You know, that shit gonna burn anyway, bro. You know, it's no need to get an attachment to this world anymore. You know, we have grown up from that, man. Having an attachment to this world. What are you getting comfortable for? You know, scriptures say, you know, this is not your rest. You know, but back to the scriptures. I'm gonna go to the book of Philippians. Philippians chapter 3. I'm gonna grab this one in the NLT. This is Philippians chapter 3 and verse 13 in the NLT. It says, "No, dear brothers and sisters, I have not achieved it, but I focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead." Right, man? We can't focus on the past. We can't focus on what we used to do, man. We got to focus on what lies ahead, man. The kingdom lies ahead. That's what we got to focus on. You know? To hell with all this extra shit, man. All the shit that's weighing you down, man, you need to let it go. We got a race to finish, man. We have our race we have to finish. Whether we have to be a martyr for Yahushua, or we make it through that Jacob's trouble, man, and make it to that chariot, man, without never tasting death again, man. You know? But whichever race ours, we have to finish it. We have to focus on that, man. Go to the book of Hebrews. This is Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 38. It says, "Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him." You know, not having that faith, man. That's how people fall out. They don't really believe, man. They don't really have that faith, man. They want to be back in the world, you know. That's what it is. It says, my soul shall have no pleasure in him, you know. So these guys be faking it, man. Cause they didn't truly fear, man. You know, they didn't. I'm gonna finish this on up. I'm gonna go to the book of Luke. Luke chapter 17. It says, this is Luke chapter 17, verse 31. It says, "In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away." Right, man. You can't take everything with you, man. You know? You can't take everything with you. You know? It says, "And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back." You know? Trying to return back to what you had, man. The things that you had. This is a sacrifice, man. You know, this is a sacrifice for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Don't be trying to go back to your old life or back to what you once had. It says, "Let them likewise not return back." Remember Lot's wife, man. What happened to Lot's wife? You know, she turned back. Turned into that pillar of salt, man. You know, thinking about her whole life. I'm gonna grab that scripture right quick. Then I'm gonna grab that. It's a summary on Google. This is Genesis chapter 19 and verse 26. It says, "But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt." And I'm gonna grab this summary on Google. It says, Lot's wife in Genesis 19, who turned into a pillar of salt for disobeying angelic orders. You know, angelic, you know, God-like, you know, orders. By looking back at the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, she symbolized an attachment to her old life and worldly possessions. Woo. Looking back is symbolizing your old life and your worldly possessions, man. You know? That's just like in in Luke, man. But they had all their things in their house. And it says not to return to that, not to return to get it, man. That's it. That's the point. To hell with our old lives, man. To hell with our goals we had in this place, man. We have one new goal now, one new and only goal that we should be focused on, man. Is being the best we can be for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. So we can make it on that chariot. Or be a martyr for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. And getting that crown, bro. That should be our only focus and goal now, man. You know? But back to this summary, it says, she symbolized an attachment to her old life and worldly possessions, serving as a warning against disobedience. You know? The Lord made an example out of her ass, man. And there's gonna be a lot of more damn people that the Lord gonna make an example out of, man. You know? But that's pretty much all on this lesson. I pray you were edified. Until next video. Shalom.